අපි හොයලා බැලුවා. මම විදේශ ඇමතුමාගෙනුත් මේක නැහුවා. එතුමා
We made inquiries and I quizzed the foreign minister as well. He says that the contract was granted prior to the foreign secretary assuming office in Geneva. This is what the foreign minister told me when I made inquiries. When something like this happens, we inquire into whether this is the truth or not. So I ask, why the different standards? Why is that the same mouth that speaks of contracts in Sheniko Senivaratna's past is silent when the EU lifts the ban on the LTTE?
හෙනුකගේ අතීතයේ ඒ කාර්යාලයක තිබිච්ච කොන්ත්‍රාත්තුවක මොකක් හරි කතාවක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක කියන කටින්ම ඇයි යුරෝපා සංගමයේ කොටි තහනම් ඉවත් කරනකොට කට වැහෙන්නේ?
A few key questions are valid at this point. Who approved the contract and on what basis? Who occupied the official residence during the works? Who approved the bill? Who signed the payment? Who is responsible for awarding the contract?
I looked at all the documents when I took office. I realized that there were many irregularities. I was informed that this company was in fact a finance company. It is not a construction company. The company is not based in Geneva, it is based in Zurich. The owners of this company are in the LTTE. That is why I asked the ministry and the president to conduct a financial audit. One problem was to do with finance, the other was to do with security. That is why I asked for the audit. Before I took office, Sheniko Senivaratna was the ambassador.
Meanwhile, on our special segment Newsline today, former permanent representative to the UN in Geneva, Dr.Dayan expressed these views.
Dr. Dayan, Foreign Minister G.L. Pires has reportedly told Minister Weerawansa that this contract for the renovation of the ambassador's official residence was given prior to Ms. Sheniko Senivaratna taking office. Can you just brief us on the timeline? Because if it was prior to Ms. Sheniko Senivaratna, then that was in your tenure.
Well, Nadeem, you know, I didn't spend time trying to renovate the residence. I concentrated on helping defeat a UN war crimes inquiry when I was serving in Geneva. So we did that in 2009 in May 28th. And I was fired on the 16th of July 2009. A decision was taken when the president was in Cairo attending an online conference at which Minister Weerawansa was also present, that I should be fired, and I was sent a fax. I took the first available flight after I could pack and settle my affairs, and I was back here in Colombo in the
Who was heading the office in the
August.
period between your departure and Ms. Sheniko Senivaratna's?
I do remember that Sheniko took over sometime in November 2009. So, I mean, I don't know about this audit. I mean, I know about the audit report. I've never seen this. So it should be very easy. You just check the dates of the contract and check the dates when Madam Senivaratna took over as ambassador.
All of this came to light following this, the whole incident or non-incident involving Dr. Christonis and MP Sajin Vaskunawardena. What is your take on it?
Now, why now? It's because there was the story that he had beaten up on Sri Lanka's High Commissioner to Britain while in New York. So that's when the whole thing kind of blew up, and everybody started talking about what's happening in the management of Sri Lanka's external affairs.
And at the same time, the EU lifting its shackles off the LTTE. Now, Minister Weerawansa claims that there is some correlation between these incidents. What's your view on that?
Well, there is certainly a correlation between Sri Lanka's retreat in the international arena, the serial defeats that we have suffered, and the management of Sri Lanka's external relations. Now, in 2008, there's another timeline here. In 2008, our High Commissioner at the time, who is now our Foreign Secretary, Madam Sheniko Senivaratna, had stated at a staff meeting in London that I would be removed from my post in Geneva and that she would be my successor. Now, if that had happened in 2008, while the war was raging, and while the West was trying to bring a resolution to stop the war, then who would have gained? Who would have gained if I had been removed in 2008 when she was on the record saying that I would be? I was removed in 2009 and she did take over, so somebody knew what was going to happen. Sri Lanka is in trouble internationally. We should have our finest people in the most responsible posts. We cannot have somebody who doesn't have a university degree and maybe not even his A-levels as the presidential advisor on international relations.
Dr.Dayan took office as Sri Lanka's permanent representative to the UN in Geneva in June 2007. He held this office until the 16th of July 2009 and was succeeded by the current Foreign Secretary, Shenuka Seneviratne. She presented her credentials as the permanent representative in Geneva in the latter part of 2009. She served in this position for 2 years and was succeeded by Tamara Kunanayakam in August 2011.
I must note that both the conspirators and the stakeholders are within the government itself. The conspirators and the stakeholders in the conspiracy cannot just clamber out of the ditch they have fallen into. They must answer this. Now they are saying that this was not awarded during Shenuka Seneviratne's tenure, but this document clearly states the date. This clearly states that it was given to P.D. Thangaraja on the 19th of November 2009. By the 22nd of December 2012, the first payment had been made. It is pointless to tell a different story without plucking out stories off the top of their heads. They must immediately make inquiries from the Finance Ministry Secretary. At the very least, make these inquiries and fulfill their responsibility.
The website of the Sri Lankan mission in Geneva contains 2 photographs of when Shenuka Seneviratne presented credentials as the permanent representative. The date stamp on these photographs is the 17th of November 2009. According to Wasantha Samarasinha, the contract for the renovation of the official residence of the permanent representative was awarded to a finance company affiliated to the LTTE on the 19th of November 2009. As soon as I saw this news item, I immediately started to call you because I felt a great fear and happiness at the same time. I was fearful because the government has now accepted what we said then. They have affirmed that this exists. Minister Weerawansa has accepted for the first time that the government has had dealings with the tigers. What is evident now is that the people who stuck the tiger label on us have now been implicated in this conspiracy. It has come from the mouth of Vimal Weerawansa himself that there are economic assassins in the country, and now he himself has said that the Foreign Services assassin is in Switzerland. Vimal Weerawansa is saying that the government is with people in the LTTE diaspora. KP has a hold of the Tamil diaspora from within the country. Karunamma is in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. Pillayan is in the Provincial Council. Now we know who exactly is living with the tigers. Dayan Jayathilaka, Rajiva Vijayasinghe, Tamara Kunanayakam and Chris Nonis, who resigned recently after being slapped, are being removed because of this. Those who fight against extremism cannot remain in the government because the government is with the extremists. Now they are talking about the EU lifting the prohibition on the tigers. But we told them 4 years ago to let us go to court if they were not prepared to do so to fight this. Why didn't they assign a good lawyer? This case has been ongoing for several years. We told Mahinda Samarasinha and GL Pires to let us go as the opposition if they were not prepared to do it. The truth has been revealed now, and I thank Sirasa for giving me this opportunity.